Several weeks ago, the news broke that the Lionsgate company bought E1, which means that now this company has the necessary permissions to work on Power Rangers films. Let's remember that Lionsgate were responsible for the 2017 film, so this has left fans with many questions. Many think that now, maybe, we can have the second Power Rangers movie since it had been announced that they were going to create a sequel, but it never happened. Now, with this purchase, it is a possibility that they will make this movie, but this really needs to be analyzed better. The reality is that the sequel had been cancelled due to the failure of the first movie, and even though some fans liked this movie, companies measure success with numbers. This first movie had an investment of $100 million, but only managed to generate $142 million, which means it only had a so-called profit of $42 million. I say so-called profit because sometimes the first investment does not include other costs, so this may mean that the movie actually made a loss and not a profit. Regardless of fan love, all companies are still businesses looking to make money, so if any product doesn't make them a profit, then it's a waste of time and money. Sometimes the numbers don't reflect on how good or bad a movie is, but unfortunately, this is the only way they can measure a project to decide whether to make a sequel. This is why there are movies that become a saga even if they are terrible, because if there is an audience that supports them, then they are going to make a lot of money. Due to these profits is that they keep creating sequels until they become sagas of many movies. We have already talked many times about the good and bad things that this 2017 movie had. It is due to several factors that most of the fans were not happy, and this is why many did not go to see it in the theater. This does not mean that it is a bad movie, but it was not what the fans were looking for, and this was reflected in the box office. Movies based on already created characters are very demanding movies because they have an established audience that is looking for something specific. If the producers do not provide this to the fans, then it is very possible that the movie will be a total failure, and this is what happened with the Power Rangers movie. Many of us were looking for something similar to the 1995 movie, but with better modern effects and maybe some minor improvements. Unfortunately, the producers of this movie changed everything and destroyed the essence of the series. This is exactly what ruined everything, because if a movie based on already created characters destroys the essence of that, then it is like having ignored the existence of those characters. This is why there is some doubt as to whether the company will make a sequel or start from scratch again. These are the two moves they must choose from, and both are very risky. When Lionsgate made this purchase, they obviously got a lot more than just the Power Rangers, so the third option is that they don't really do anything because they are afraid of failing again and losing a lot of money. We are going to analyze these three options to know which would be the best option, and I would like you to write in the comments the option you prefer. The first option is to create a sequel to the first movie they made in 2017 to give continuity to what they already created. This would mean we could possibly see the new Tommy Oliver and maybe Lord Zedd, since Rita was destroyed. Many had possibly forgotten the details that Lord Zedd could possibly be the villain in this new movie, and we all focused on the last scene when they make reference that we could see Tommy Oliver in a sequel. The story of this movie could be interesting since Rita had the powers of the Green Ranger, and we don't know how Tommy is going to get that morpher. Besides this, we also don't know if the Dragon Dagger could appear, since it is the way Tommy controls the Dragon Zord, and it would be very interesting to know the version of this dagger with modern effects. It could also be interesting to meet the Dragon Zord, and while obviously the design of the Zords in this movie was horrible, we don't know if they will create something amazing with this new Zord. Another thing they could do is learn from all the mistakes they made, and maybe they can create a better movie. Another advantage they have is that we all know the story and the characters, so now they can concentrate a little more on the action. Also, even though many of us are focused on Tommy being the Green Ranger, with the destruction of Rita, we don't know if he might start using the powers of the White Ranger. This would give us the possibility that we might see a new version of Saba, the White Ranger's powerful sword. This option has all these advantages, but the risks it has is that maybe the fans feel that they are going to waste their time due to the failure of the first movie. Another thing is that maybe many fans are not going to forgive the changes they made with the essence of the franchise, and this could cause an even worse failure. The next option is to create a new movie starting from scratch, and this has many advantages, but it also has many risks. Let's talk first about the advantages, and they are possibly more than the risks. The first advantage is that they can fix all the mistakes they made in the first movie and create something impressive from scratch. Starting by respecting the essence, which means that they should create costumes with the true Power Rangers style morphers that are really worth it. They should also respect that the power of a ranger is only given to people who deserve it and not young rebels. Another thing they need to improve is that they need to concentrate on giving us action from the beginning of the movie, since previously we had to wait a long time to see the first battle. Fights are an essential part of the Power Rangers, and we fans want to see fights from the beginning of the movie. One thing that maybe they can change is to not show the origin story again, as this means they are going to change it, and this is a complete mistake. If they are going to use characters that already exist, then they should use the same origin story that those characters already have in the series. In the first movie they used the Mighty Morphin characters, but they changed the whole origin story, and this was a complete mistake. If they want to create a new origin story, then they must create new characters, something that can really be a double-edged sword, as fans may love these new characters, but they may also hate them. The only risk this second option has is basically the same risk they had when they created the first movie, a normal risk that happens with all projects. The third option is very simple, and it is that they decide not to do anything with the Power Rangers. This may happen due to their fear of failure, although we don't know if this company will also be attached to the reboot. If Lionsgate joins the reboot, then their movies should be connected to the series, and there anything can be possible. If you would like a sequel to the 2017 movie, like this video and subscribe for new Power Rangers projects.